Good morning. Playing the barn today. Yeah, we have to be. In just a minute or two here, we'll get started. How's everyone doing? What y'all doing for 4th of July? Anybody going out of town? What's the word? Alright. See if we can beat the barn. Got some bad news about winning the SEC in this season, though, that I'm playing here.
One of the greatest coaches in Auburn history played at Georgia. One of the greatest coaches in Georgia history played at Auburn.
Right,
these two have been intertwined for years. The Tigers and the Bulldogs.
Surely we can beat the barn, but the problem is,
oldest rivalry. It's time
of course,
for
we lost to
ESPN
South Carolina,
College
so we're what, 9-1
tonight. Brett Nessler and
I
Kirk
think.
Herbstreit will
8-1
have
and
the call.
9-1. South Carolina has 2 losses,
on the
but
campus
only
of
one of
Auburn
them
University.
is
On
an
game
SEC
days, it's the
loss.
5th largest city in Alabama.
And they only have one
Hi,
SEC
everybody.
game
I'm Brett
left,
Nessler. My
and
partner
it's
is
this
Kirk
same
Herbstreit
week
here in the booth. Aaron Andrews joins us on the sideline. We're ready for an exciting game.
at
This
Arkansas.
presentation of college football
No,
is brought to you by
against
Coke Zero.
Arkansas.
Real
At
Coke
home.
taste, 0 calories.
So,
enjoy everything.
we need a
And
miracle.
we've got a good one that
We need
features
Arkansas to
the
beat
Georgia
South
Bulldogs
Carolina,
and the Auburn
and
Tigers.
we need to beat Auburn here to win the East. If both those things don't happen, then we will not win the East, and will not play in the SEC championship game, and so probably will not make the BCS title game, even though right now we're ranked, I think, 5th in the BCS standings. But 2 teams ahead of us, I think, or 3 are undefeated. So if we don't win the SEC with our 1 loss, then I seriously doubt we're going to make it up to number 2 in the BCS, and we'll probably end up getting left out of the championship game.
And here come the Tigers.
Which is no bueno.
This appears to be a heck of a late season matchup. They're playing today in hopes of impressing the pollsters and the bowl reps. It's time for the coin toss now, presented by Coke Zero. Real Coke taste, 0 calories. Enjoy everything.
Heads or tails? Heads. All right. Spin that way? Sure. Why not?
Auburn will be kicking off, and you can
All
just
right, let's
feel
start off
the
with good
energy in the
return.
air for this opening
Come on,
kickoff.
Nico. Make something happen, cuz.
He'll take it from the 2. He's to the 10. He's
Couldn't
pushed out of
quite get to the
bounds
corner.
at the 24. Time for an update from the studio. Reese, what have you got?
The Crimson Tide took the field ranked number 5 and hope to use this opportunity to move even higher. And for Texas A&M, they've now lost 6 in a row. The Crimson Tide rolls 30-28. In other games, the Tigers came into the game ranked 7th. They're now bungee jumping, and the cord's going to break. The upset is complete.
What's up,
and
Darius?
For long, he hauled in more than 100 yards worth of passing. Maryland wins it 31-14.
Nigs 43.
Now that they know that score, they know how critical their game is this
they're showing Georgia today on
Georgia,
SEC Network. I might check that out later.
From them today?
I'm taking Lou Jr. swimming.
A lot of their plays develop. It's
taking
all
Lou
about
Jr.
ball control with this
swimming
offense.
after this.
And they use a lot of quick passing routes and a lot of three-step drops. Doesn't give the defenders a whole lot of time to react.
They complete the play-action pass for a pickup of 3.
I also checked before I started this game. Nick Chubb is 3rd in the Heisman race. So if he has a big game today, I think we have 3 games left. So if he has 3 big games, Chubb might can win the Heisman here. Next week's game is going to be a good one. I don't know if I should give it away on who it is or not. In the real schedule that the game generated, it was some crappy FCS team. But of course, I changed all that around before the season started. I took out all the crappy FCS teams and put good teams in, like we've already played Ohio State. I forget who else we played. But it's another one next week that was a crappy team, and I replaced it with somebody else that should be fun to watch. I don't know if I should say it, I guess. Surprise. What do y'all think? You want me to tell you? Maybe I'll tell the ones of y'all that are watching, but then you just promise not to tell anybody else. You think that would work?
It's second down and 4 to go. Ball on the 41-yard
line. Yeah, the UJ Auburn game is going to be a good one this year, man, for sure.
Inside, and he is
Sony Michel with a nice little run.
When you're running the ball for big chunks of yards like that, you've got something working.
Matt says he's grilling out. Yeah, that's a must on 4th of July, I think. I think you have to.
First down, 10 yards to go.
Michael Vick. Jared wants to know who was better, Michael Vick or Johnny Manziel. Michael Vick is really not close.
He's tackled at the 48-yard line.
Stuffed on that one.
That's good for a gain of 2 yards. That makes it 2nd and 8.
From the 48-yard line, 2nd down.
Nice pass.
Down at the 32.
You know, the wide receiver here does a good job of running a nice route, but I think it's the concentration, what he did at the end of the route that made the difference. He felt the coverage. He knew that he had a man on him, but he's able to keep the defender away from the football and go up and make a nice catch.
From the 32-yard line, 1st down.
Ooh, get off me.
Nice run, and he's
half the team to bring him down.
That's a gain of 4 on the play. That makes it 2nd and 6.
It's 2nd down, 6 to go. Ball on the 28.
Nice run, Sony. That's a good change of pace to bring Sony in. I think I told y'all before, but you can adjust in this game. You can adjust how often the running backs are automatically swapped in and out based on their how tired they are or whatever. And I have it as soon as they get down to 90% that they're automatically rotated in and out. That's way too high. I mean, usually it's like at 75 or 80, but I wanted to give the other running backs a chance to play some and not just have all Chubb. So that's why I did it that way. Rick Bots for South Carolina fans. Ooh. I'm going to say South Carolina fans. Rick Bots for some of the worst. Do I think this could be a rematch in Atlanta? Has that ever happened? I don't know if the odds are very good for that.
We've got a 2nd and 9 here. Ball on the 14.
All right, Chubb, let's take this one to the house, buddy.
Here's a handoff, left side. And they push him
And
out
not too
around the
bad.
8-yard line.
7 yards.
Gain of 6 on the play. That makes it 3rd and 3.
They need about 3 yards to get the first down here on 3rd down. 3rd and short, and this crowd is alive.
Oh, that didn't work. I ran right into a blitz.
The problem at times with pitch outs is they're really slow to develop. And in this case, the defense had plenty of time
I don't know.
to swarm
I'm not kicking a field goal.
It's 4th down, and they're going to try to go for it.
James Smith says, yes, a rematch has happened. Who was it? I don't remember. Nice.
He's got his receiver for the touchdown.
Touchdown, Hardman.
This all comes down to the offense and the quarterback doing a good job of selling the run. This time the linebacker gets fooled, creates enough space on the backside for the touchdown for this offense.
Oh, no.
And the point after is no good. Let's throw it out to Reese now for a studio update.
I hit the right button. The controller didn't work for some reason. Cheating game again.
Quiet so far, but hoping that they'll make some noise after today. And for Nevada,
what happened to the video before Miss game? Which one? They're all on there, I'm pretty sure.
Coach deep to return.
He really got a hold of that kick.
The Ole Miss game, that was the one that was the last one I played, was Ole Miss. 2 days ago. Kansas or Akron? Akron. Akron all day. One more month till football. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Get him. Woo!
Right around the 22-yard line.
That brings up 2nd and 13.
All right. Let's see here. Let's see how this play works.
From their own 22-yard line. 2nd down. A long ways yet to go, but at the end of one, the Bulldogs in front by 6.
Kansas or Butch Jones? Butch Jones. I don't know. That's a tough one.
It's 2nd and 13. Ball on the 22.
Get him. Nice. Nowhere to run.
Loss of 2 yards on the play. 3rd down.
Ryan says, tired of baseball. I hear you, man. I was so desperate yesterday, I almost watched USA versus Ghana, international soccer.
3rd down, 15 to go. Ball on the 20-yard line.
I actually don't mind international soccer, though. I don't like team soccer, but I like country versus country. Ooh, that quarterback got lit up.
Receiver on the play. That's going to bring up 4th down.
It was a good hold by the defense on 3rd down. Now their punt returner will get a chance to make something
DG, how does Florida have good teams just about every sport? I don't know, but there's no denying. I mean, they're definitely the best all-around program right now. I don't see how you can deny that.
Hutchinson is waiting
Butch
for the
Jones
snap.
or Will Muschamp? That's been proven. So Will Muschamp. Butch Jones has never beaten Will Muschamp.
He makes
Ooh,
it to
Harmon
the
got laid out, didn't he?
Returned for a gain of 9 yards.
Momentum swings have been fairly even. And with so little separation, this game can be drastically changed on just 1 or 2 plays. Georgia is up by 6. He's gobbled up
Nothing doing there.
Reed with the tackle at the 48-yard line. That makes it 2nd and 10.
2nd down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 48.
I definitely don't want to watch a replay of the Georgia-Tennessee game.
On the run, right side. He takes
No
it right side
way.
for a good gain.
Gain of 5 yards. That'll make it 3rd and 5.
From the 47-yard line.
How many yards will Sony get this year? I think he can get close to 1,000.
This place is rocking.
I mean, talent-wise, obviously, he's a 1,000-yard runner. I couldn't get out of my own way on that one. Talent-wise, he's a 1,000-yard runner. There's just not enough carries to go around with the number of running backs, you know, legit running backs that we have. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. I think Chubb's going to get the most carries, closely followed by Sony, and then the rest of the carries will be split up between Harry and Holyfield and Swift. Now, that's the worst thing you can do, UNCLELOU, take a sack on 4th down at midfield. He's drifted right into that defensive end, too. Idiot. Savage Man says, UNCLELOU, what you think about the ACC? In football, I'm assuming you're asking. I think Clemson takes a step back this year. They're still going to be really good. They've got good players all over the field. It's not a shot at Clemson. You're just not replacing Deshaun Watson. I mean, he's I would say he's probably the best player they've ever had. So no matter who you get in there at quarterback, you're not replacing what he did. I'd be willing to bet on that. So I think Florida State wins the ACC this year.
So it's 2nd down and about 2 yards to go.
Isaiah says, UNCLELOU, what happened to coffee talk? This is kind of like coffee talk, I guess.
They hand it off.
Oh. Jeez, that guy broke a run.
Five guys will be out in the pattern as they're in the shotgun. Marshall gets the call. Touchdown.
Well, that's no good.
Here's the extra point that can give them the lead.
DG says, do you plan on calling DirecTV to see if they have the SEC network?
And he adds the extra point.
That was a good set of videos I did. God, that was a long time ago.
7 points.
Lou, do you think the Big 12 will expand in a few years? They need to expand very, very quickly, or they're just going to die. I think there's a 50-50 chance that they either expand or they just go away. And you end up going to 4 super conferences of 16 teams each.
The defense forced a turnover on downs on the last drive.
Brad, this offense, the last time they were out there, went for it on 4th down and came up short. And I'm all for being aggressive, but I really think you've got to be smart when it comes to when to go for it on 4th down and when to punt and try to affect field position. Let's see if this offensive coordinator and play caller has learned from some of his mistakes in the past.
The halfback takes the pitch and gets a good.
Derek Mason or Butch Jones? Derek Mason. He's beat Butch Jones 2 of the last 3 years. So hard to argue any other way on that one.
It's 2nd and 5 here. Ball on their own 24.
NC State or South Carolina? I think NC State wins that game. They're favored right now by 5.5, and I think that's about right. I think NC State can win that game by about a touchdown.
At the 25-yard line.
That'll bring up 3rd and 4.
Isaiah says, what do you think Clemson's record will be? I think they can go 9-3.
They're about 4 yards away here on 3rd down.
I think them, Louisville, and Miami are behind Florida State in terms of top teams.
They hand it off.
Nice run, Chubb.
The 43-yard line.
The offensive lineman played that one perfectly.
Why is the Big 12 dying so bad? Well, they screwed up by doing away with the championship game. They tried to act like they didn't need it. That's turned out not to be true. Texas being in the toilet for 10 years has really, really hurt them. I mean, they've pretty much been a one-team league lately with Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma State is a good team, you know, every couple of years. Baylor and TCU have scored a ton of points the last few years, but never really done anything with it. And it's just dying. I mean, and who are they going to get? You know, they're at what, 9 teams right now. You know, who do they get to even get up to 12, much less the 14 that the SEC has? I mean, you're talking about maybe a BYU. I mean, outside of that, who really can they get?
Around the 30-yard line.
I think it's more likely that a couple of the bigger teams split off into other conferences, and maybe Texas goes independent like Notre Dame or something like that.
From the 30-yard line.
I think Nick Chubb will have about 1,400 yards this year.
They'll keep it on the ground again.
Nice run, Chubb.
They've got a solid drive going here, but I know it's not going to mean that much without putting some points.
Sniv or Nancy Grace? Oh, I'm going to go with Sniv on that. James Smith says, would you rather have OU or Texas join the SEC? I don't think Texas is joining the SEC. I think it's way more likely that Oklahoma would than Texas. I don't really care either way. But the way the process works, I'm not sure the SEC would allow Texas. Yet the teams get to vote on who comes in, and I can tell you right now, Texas A&M is a no vote as far as letting Texas in. It only takes a couple more teams. I think you have to have 3 no votes to keep a school out.
Off the upright and in.
Almost missed that one. Savage Man says, Lou, am I crazy to say Louisville is going to win the ACC? I don't think you're crazy. I mean, anytime you have one of the best players in college football, Lamar Jackson, then you're going to have a chance to do something. I just don't think – I mean, Lamar Jackson is a great college player. Now, he'll never play it down in the NFL at quarterback, but, of course, that doesn't matter when it comes to winning college games. But anytime you have a player like that, I mean, that gives you a chance to compete with some teams that are more talented. I just don't think they can hang with the Florida States, the Clemsons, and probably even the Miamis. I just don't think they have the talent around Lamar Jackson to do that. I know they're getting better. You know, they've got, you know, a few good pieces here or there. But their roster top to bottom, I just don't think is good enough to compete with the big boys.
Drops back to pass.
Yeah, they're not going to add just one team to the SEC. You would always have to add 2 at a time to keep the divisions equal. So if you add somebody to the West, then you got to add somebody to the East. That would most likely. I mean, the 2 obvious choices are going to be either a team from North Carolina or a team from Virginia or West Virginia. You know, a lot of this is about TV money, so they're not going to add, like, just take Clemson as an example. There would be no benefit to the SEC money-wise in adding Clemson. You already have the South Carolina TV market with South Carolina. But I could see them adding a North Carolina team. Maybe East Carolina, maybe, would be the only one. But I could see them then maybe adding NC State. I don't think UNC would leave the ACC. But I could see them add maybe NC State. Maybe Virginia Tech I would like to have in the SEC. Virginia Tech would probably be my first pick to add to the East if it was up to me, which course, it's not. Nice play, Gibbs. Intercepted in the end zone. I like that.
Here's Reese.
The sturdy Golden Bears of Cal taking the field in Berkeley. The Golden Bears.
Sports Food and Money wants everyone to know that loves bubble baths. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, honestly.
He's thrown for more than 100 yards.
Ratman, should Kansas join the SEC? No, we already have Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Arkansas. We don't need another terrible team. Who from the West would you pick to switch to the East? I wouldn't pick anybody from the West to switch to the East, but if that happens, it'll be Auburn without question. They're the easternmost team in the West. So if that ever happens, it will be Auburn that switches over. I don't think that's going to ever happen for a couple of different reasons. If that happened, then most likely the Tennessee-Alabama rivalry would end. That game would stop, and I don't think the SEC is going to let that happen. Because if Auburn comes to the East, of course you play one team every year from the other conference. So if Auburn comes to the East, that means they no longer are in the same division as Alabama. So obviously Alabama is going to become the one team that Auburn plays every year from the West, meaning that Alabama then couldn't also play Tennessee every year. And I just don't see the SEC letting that happen.
And he's hit before he can go anywhere.
No gain on the play. That makes it 2nd and 10.
They'll bring him down
Nice.
at the 28-yard line.
No gain on the play. That brings up 3rd and 10.
What's up, Vandy Highlights?
Could be a check with me right there.
Vanderbilt would destroy Kansas. You're right about that, Nick's 43. Without question.
Excellent series by this defense.
It wouldn't even be close.
And the offense really struggled on this drive. They're going to have to pick it up if they want to.
Remember when Kansas beat Texas a couple of years ago? That's when I knew, wow, Texas has officially fallen off the map now. That's when I knew Charlie Strong was gone.
To punt.
I'm surprised they didn't fire him right after that game. But I knew that was it for him when they lost to Kansas. I mean, that's embarrassing.
And he's tackled at the 48-yard line.
Returned for a gain of 12 yards.
Brahim Musa says, I think Louisville can win the ACC because it happened last year. No,
And they'll take over.
it didn't happen last year. You didn't win the ACC last year? Oh, I don't know where you're getting that from.
He makes it to the 48-yard line.
Moonman says, do you think UJ can win the SEC? I think they can. Obviously, the odds are against it. I mean, the odds are against any one team winning the SEC. Other than Alabama's the only team, in my opinion, that has greater than a 50% chance of winning the SEC. Anyone else that wins the SEC besides Alabama, it would be a surprise. Oh, Small and Nappy's back with the Pac-12 gang. Yeah, the Pac-12 is garbage, sir. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. Oh, yeah, Louisville had some big wins last year, and that Clemson game was one of the best games of the year. Y'all ended up losing that one, right? But nice catch. Get in the end zone. Woo! Did it go to overtime? I can't remember if it went to overtime, but it just came down to the end. But that was a hell of a game. That was one of the games of the year last year, Clemson and Louisville. Am I remembering that right? I think I am. It was a night game. Clemson won at the end. Seems like I remember right. Kansas or Texas? Right now, I would go with Texas. But like I was just saying, Kansas did beat Texas a couple years ago. Let's go for two and try to get it back up to a 2-touchdown lead here.
Try for a 2-point conversion. They'll go with a run once again.
Didn't get it, did I?
Play 52-yard drive, but they just get 6 points.
Nope, a little bit short. That's all right. We're not going to let them score again anyway. Sports Food and Money says UJ is the devil. Mama says.
Looks like they're ready for the kick.
Mama says UGA is the devil.
Excellent kick.
What's that, water boy?
And it goes into
Medulla oblongata. That's a good possibility, Adam. Adam says UJ goes 10-2 but gets overmatched in the SEC championship game. That's a possibility for sure.
Down 2 possessions.
I think 10-2 is what we would have to be to win the East.
Brought down at the 23-yard line.
That is a loss of 2 yards. That'll bring up 2nd and 12.
From their own 23-yard line, it's 2nd down.
Gage says, what will you do if Georgia doesn't win the East? I don't know. I mean, I won't be happy. That's my expectation this year, is to win the East. So as far as what I'll do if we don't, I mean, it's hard for me to say right now. I don't.
Boy, what great player recognition by this
if you're talking about breaking TVs and stuff like that, it's not like that stuff is planned out 6 months ahead of time. So I don't really know. I don't know. It depends how we lose it. You know, I mean, there's way too many variables to go into that for me to know what I would do if it happens. I wouldn't be happy, though.
Gets it out in a hurry. And he's taken down.
I mean, like last year, I wasn't happy that we didn't win the East, but I wasn't expecting to win the East going into last year either. This year, I am expecting to win the East. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I'm expecting to win the East.
Takes it up the middle for a nice run.
Double J says Eason is a punk. Well, as long as he wins, I really don't care.
Trying to change the play. Pitch right side.
Tackle that turd.
His way to about the 42.
If Tennessee goes 0-12, will they still think they're going to the NAG next year? Yes. Garnet Spartan.
They're changing the play.
It's funny. Isaiah says, are you really going to be a fan of the Lions next year? Yes, I am a Lions fan next year. One pride, son. Matthew Stafford and whoever else they have on the team. I'll figure all that out before the season starts.
2nd down. Defensive coordinator anticipating this 5-wide set, and he comes in with his dime package. Receivers got it on the
what did
taken down right around the 38.
Subaman says, Uncle Lou, what'd your wife do when she found out that you broke that TV? I mean, she wasn't happy, but it's not like she was irate or anything. I mean, she thinks pretty much everything I do on YouTube, the whole YouTube thing in general, is childish as hell. So she thought pretty much the same thing about the TV. I mean, that garage area outside, that's my area. You know, I mean, I don't pretend to be some kind of king of the castle here. You know, Mrs. Lou runs the show around here, I'm not going to lie. But the garage is mine. I mean, I can do what I want out there, you know, and she pretty much leaves it alone. So I can't complain, but so I mean, she wasn't happy about it, but like I said, it's not like she's not really happy about anything I do on YouTube, but she's sort of used to it.
And it goes into the end zone, down for a touchback.
Niggs 43, why'd you call Dabo Swinney dumbass tater? Because he put a McDonald's playground in the locker room. That's why. Isaiah Anderson, what draft pick do you think Chubb would be? If he has a good year, he will be a first-round draft pick. It's hard to say right now what number he'll go because I don't know which teams are drafting at which position. Until the season is over and you know who's drafting where, it's impossible to guess what number he would go. But I think if it looks like his knee is 100% and teams are comfortable with that, NFL teams, I mean, then I expect him to be a first-round pick. He could be the first running back taken if he plays like he played pre-injury. Pre-injury, he was the best running back in America, and it wasn't even close. He had like 13 games in a row with 100 yards. He was averaging 8 yards a carry against SEC teams. I mean, that's unheard of. The guy was just unstoppable. James Smith, what do you think about James Cook thinking about going to UJ? I would be shocked if we got him. I think he's ranked like the 3rd best running back recruit in the nation this year, if I'm remembering right. And I mean, everyone knows. I mean, we don't have a problem getting running backs, but if we're able to get the number 1 and the number 3 rated running back in the same class, I would truly be shocked.
Good job here by the defense. If you let this quarterback set and throw, he'll kill you all game.
DG says, what if Miss Lou told you she was a UF fan? Well, I think I've said this before. I don't know, maybe I haven't, but Mrs. Lou actually went to Florida State, graduated from there, her bachelor's degree, and got her master's degree from, you're not going to believe this, South Carolina. Twilight Zone, I know.
This was just a little dump-off pass to the halfback, but it was very well defended, keeping them.
Saline Driver says Franks will win the Heisman. You don't even believe that, sir? Gage says, what do you think about the offensive line this year? I think the offensive line will be more talented than last year, but a lot less experienced. But after seeing what I saw last year, I'll take less experienced talent over more experienced and not any good. So there's no way our offensive line can be as bad as it was last year. We didn't play a team all year that had a right defensive end that we could block. Not one. Our left tackle didn't face a defensive end or an outside linebacker all year that he could block. It was the worst I've seen since maybe at some point in the 90s I could find one that was that close to that. But it was just terrible. And there's no way it'll be that bad this year. Do you think UJ could give Bama as good of a game as they did in 2012? Hard to say. We played them in 2015 and got blown out. Played them in 2012, and either team could have won that game. I'll have to see what Bama looks like this year. I will say this, and I'm not knocking Bama. I'm not sold on Jalen Hurts as a quarterback. So we'll have to see what happens there.
They'll spread the field with 5 wide. And it looks like they're going to change it up here. Strike to his receiver, no good.
Yeah, Catalina was not good, to say the least.
That makes it 4th and 8.
Hutchinson is waiting.
You're right, DJ. It can make you do crazy things.
And he's taken down.
Flag. I'm sure they're going to throw that on me, I'm sure.
Let's see who it's on.
Banks says Jake Bentley is the next Johnny Manziel. If you mean washed up cokehead, that's news to me. I didn't know Jake Bentley had a coke problem. So that's news to me.
From their own
David Andrews was a beast at center. I mean, he ran that whole offensive line for 3 years. Double J, do you think Easton will make a big improvement this year? I do.
They'll work the left side with a counter play.
I think he will be a totally different player this year.
The tailback picks up a solid 7 yards on the counter play.
Yeah, Catalina got picked up by like the Chiefs or something. He'll never make it. I don't know why. I mean, I don't understand how that happened, but he'll never play it. I would be surprised if he even played a snap in a preseason game. Sloth or not, if you heard about the Title IX investigation at Florida, I have. I saw some posts about that this morning, but I don't know the whole story behind it. I know it has to do with Antonio Callaway, but so somebody tell me, are they in any type of trouble or what? Is this something I need to look into more? Maybe I need to make a video about it too.
First down, 10 to go. Ball on the 35.
I'll put Lou in. I can't. Who said that? I can't. Somebody said put Uncle Lou in.
To the right. Tackle made.
You want me to put Lou in?
around the 44-yard line.
Saline driver. The Cox will never be anything, especially with Moose stunt running things. Trust someone who knows. Yeah, I don't have any faith in South Carolina at all. I think they're going to be about the exact same as what they were last year, right around 500. They're going to be either 500, a game above it, or a game below it. That's my prediction.
Here's the give. And they make the
Nice
stop
run,
at the
Chubb.
45-yard line.
That's a gain of 11 on the play.
DJ Productions, Skip Bayless, or Feminist? I actually like Skip Bayless. I mean, I disagree with a lot of the things he says, but I think he's entertaining. Yeah, I think he's entertaining. Vandy highlights. Will Ralph Webb be drafted in the first 3 rounds? I think there's a very good chance
First and 10,
that he is,
ball on
yes.
the 45-yard line.
They've started to take more chances on running backs lately. For a few years, they weren't drafting running backs in the first round at all. Since Todd Gurley, that has changed. A few have been drafted every year now. So it wouldn't surprise me for Ralph Webb to get
They dominated the point of attack.
for Ralph Webb to
Auburn's
get drafted
gonna
in the
take their
first 3
first
rounds.
time out
That
of the
wouldn't
hat.
surprise me. Banks still thinks Tennessee's going 10-2. Of course,
12 to go.
everyone except
Ball on the
Banks knows that's
47-yard
not
line.
happening. Saline driver talking about That's Champ again.
They hand it off again. He's at the 30. He's
Nice
tackled
run,
around
Sonny.
the 22-yard line. The Tigers call a timeout. That's their second.
Does Trenton Thompson look like he'll be back to his old self? Creeping Death wants to know. Yes. I think our defensive line is going to be unstoppable this year.
From the
Trenton Thompson,
22-yard
Jonathan
line.
Ledbetter,
It's
Julian
first down.
Rochester. I'll take those 3 against any other 3 defensive linemen in the SEC. Bama might have more depth, but I'll take our starting 3 against anyone else's.
At the 22, Auburn will take their
Kansas or
final
Grayson
timeout.
Lambert? God. Give me Grayson Lambert.
And 10.
Second and 10. Ball on the 22-yard
Man,
line.
he got robbed. I didn't watch the fight, but I have heard everyone saying that, yeah, he got robbed.
They give to the tailback. And he hits him hard at the 12-yard line.
That's good for a gain of 10 yards. First down.
It's first and 10.
Kansas
Ball
or
on the
Jim
12.
Harbaugh? Jim Harbaugh
Less than 2
on that one.
minutes in the
I'm not a
fourth
Harbaugh
quarter.
fan, but I'll take him over Kansas for sure.
Here's a pitch left side. He fights forward to about the 10. The halfback gets the toss and picks up 2.
No, I'm not going to play again. I'm taking Lou Jr. swim in here in a little bit.
This is the 10th play of this drive.
Maybe tonight I'll play. Kansas or Jake Bentley? Jake Bentley. As much as I hate South Carolina,
They
Bentley's
go to the right
not
side.
terrible. I mean, Bentley's one of the wherever you want to put him. I know Carolina fans will argue he should be higher. No matter where you want to put Bentley, I think he's a top 5 quarterback in the SEC. I mean, he's young. We'll have to see how he develops and, whatever, things like that. But, I mean, let's be real. South Carolina's done a lot worse than Jake Bentley, so they're ahead of where they normally are as QB position.
Running the football like this,
You have to, if you're a Carolina fan, you have to ask yourself if you trust Muschamp to have a good offense or not, regardless of what QB you have,
to the
though.
line of scrimmage to respect the running game. And when they start to cheat up, if I'm calling the plays, that's when I pull out a play-action pass and look for a tight end or a receiver to try to get behind the linebacker for a big play.
Brought down at the 25-yard line. They'll get the ball here at the 25.
Ratman, will Isaiah McKenzie be good with Denver like Mitchell did for New England? I read something about that. The thing is, whoever was going to take McKenzie,
This is where the game has really changed over the last
it was going to be a team like Denver or New England or Atlanta. I mean, in other words, it was going to be a good team that didn't have a lot of glaring holes because you're taking a chance on McKenzie. No doubt about it. I mean, he's teeny tiny. But I have read some things where they are planning on using McKenzie in certain ways, and so yeah, I actually think he will do okay.
He's looking to pass.
And I'm on record. I think Malcolm Mitchell is going to have a big year for New England this year.
Incomplete.
Coach the intended receiver on the play. Fourth down.
Tennessee going 7-5. I think that's about right. Sloth or not says Tennessee going 7-5. I think that's about right.
To punt.
Banks, will Muschamp ever beat UGA at USC Junior? It depends how long he stays. I mean, anything is possible. It's not happening this year. What are you doing, Miko? I would say maybe Muschamp beats UGA once every 4 years on average. That's what he did at Florida. He beat us once out of 4 years. I'll say he continues that at South Carolina and maybe beats us once every 4 years. So if he stays there 8 years, he'll beat us twice. If he stays there 4 years, he'll beat us once. That's my prediction on that.
It's the tailback. Makes it out to about the 50.
All right, let's see Uncle Lou throw a bomb here.
The Cardinals come into this one ranked 11th. And for Louisville, they now have 9 wins.
You think Aaron Murray's going to be our QB coach? I don't know. I'm not a big fan of hiring people to coach just because they were a good player. So I don't know. Maybe Aaron Murray maybe hire him as some sort of offensive assistant at first or something like that and let him figure out what he's doing. Now, that's not Lou's fault there. Now, that guy was just unblocked. Hey, Lou, you had no time to do anything there, sir. So that's not on you right there, Lou. All right, this is most likely the last play, so let's go, Lou.
Looks to pass. He heaves it deep. Picked off.
And Lou throws an interception to end the game. You let me down, Lou. But we still win the game 26-7, so how mad really can we be? Williams, Bryce, or Vandy? Oh, God. I'm going to go with Vandy on that one. I know I picked Mizzou the other day I picked South Carolina Stadium over Mizzou, but I'm going to go with Vandy today. I'm just not feeling any love for South Carolina today. See if Chubb did anything to help his... look at Easton, 9 of 10. 3 touchdowns. Chubb didn't do anything to help his Heisman hopes today. Only 93 yards. Chubb's going to have 2 monster games if he wants to win the Heisman. He's 3rd in the Heisman race right now. He's going to have 2 monster games if he's got any chance of winning the Heisman for this season here. Anyway, I'll let you know who the next game is against, though. I'll let the cat out of the bag. You know, I did a custom schedule. You had to keep the SEC schedule the same, but it lets you change the non-conference schedule. And we were playing some crappy team the next game. I changed it. And Uncle Lou and the Georgia Bulldogs will be taking on the youth pastor, Mark Richt, and the Miami Hurricanes. Woo! So it'll be a good one. I might stream it tonight. Follow me on Twitter, @CrazyUncleLou. If I'm going to stream tonight, I will tweet something out at least 30 minutes or an hour before I stream to try to let you guys know. @CrazyUncleLou on Twitter. If I stream, it would probably be around 9 or 10. If not, we'll try to do one tomorrow. But follow me on Twitter @CrazyUncleLou. Subscribe. Don't forget, watch me on Netflix whenever that show comes out in a couple of weeks. And I'll holler at y'all later. Good morning. Deuces.